Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the Honorable Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, Your Excellency Salva Kiir Mayardit, the President of the Republic of South Sudan, Your Lordship, the Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court, Justice Maraga, the speakers of the two houses, former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka, former Vice President Musalia Mudavadi. I don't know why we keep forgetting that once upon a time, Musalia was our Vice President. It may have been for a short time, but I also suffered the same fate. I was Minister for Home Affairs for 2 months. The way Cabinet Secretaries present, ambassadors and high commissioners, leaders of majority in the two houses, our governors who are present here, members of county assemblies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I said good morning.
Good morning.
God is good
All the time.
and all the time.
God is good.
I'm going to make it brief. First, I want to congratulate the parliamentary choir. I think, to be fair to them, today's attempt was way superior compared to what it was last year. It would have been better, though, if Kajiado County had not come to perform. But I think it will help if we encourage them that it was quite a step from where they were. So Tongi and your team, please keep at it. I think you're making progress. I also want to thank our speaker today, Dr. Michael Hastings, for speaking to our hearts and our minds. And in a very special way that God has used him to speak to the leadership of Kenya and the people of our nation. Thank you very much. And because you have been good to us, your request for a prime minister we have a retired one in Kenya, and we can, and since the Constitution has abolished the position of Prime Minister in Kenya, so he may not have it anytime soon, so we will send you his CV. Maybe you can consider. In any case, we have had people from the UK helping us govern our country. So it may just be a good opportunity for us to pay back and send you something. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, Mr. President, we are gathered here at a good moment, and the prayer breakfast is a very special moment to us as the people of Kenya, because this is an occasion that we speak to ourselves candidly in a very straightforward manner, without considering who is in which party, who is in government, who is in the opposition, who comes from what community. So this is a very special moment for us as Kenya. And I agree with Sam Bokisho that other countries may want to consider prayer breakfasts like this that bring people together. And we are, of course, gathered here for good purpose, because the subject today is a new dawn for our country. And what we should do, all of us, responding to the call of our president, that we must rid ourselves, our government, our institutions, and our nation of theft and wastage and corruption. It is a good moment, and it's a good subject for us to engage in. And theft and corruption is bad in any language. I will tell you from my mother tongue. It is said, Ngom jorindet, kotabne kinindet. It means the following, that a thief may be intelligent, but not more than the investigator. And I think it is an encouragement to our investigative authorities that it is long held that the job that you do is possible. And as we've said as a nation, you have our support as you help us deal with the challenge that we have. In any case, Exodus 20:15, the Ten Commandments, says, do not steal. It's as straight as that. Do not steal. Therefore, we are perfectly, not just as a nation, but it is also a spiritual fight. And as we do that, we must remember Exodus 20:16, the following verse, which says, do not bear false testimony. The president and I were once victims of schemes and machinations and false testimony. It took the hand of God and prayer for us to get out. And we do not want any Kenyan to suffer such again. And as we pursue this very noble cause for the soul of our nation, we must remember to inspire the hawker to own a kiosk, and the gentleman who owns a kiosk to own a shop, and the one who owns a shop to own a mini market, and the one who owns a mini market to own a supermarket and a wholesale. We must remember to inspire the person who walks to buy a bicycle, and the one who rides a bicycle to buy a boda, and the boda guy to buy a tuk-tuk, and the tuk-tuk gentleman to buy a second-hand vehicle, and the one of the second-hand vehicle to buy a new car. That We must. Because as we've been told by the Speaker, this nation does not belong to the elite alone. It belongs to 45 million Kenyans. And finally, I have a confession to make. Finally. I have Right Honorable Ken Lusaka, Speaker of the Senate, the President of the Supreme Court and our Chief Justice, Madam Koome, political leaders who are present here, the leadership of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. I will be very brief. First, it's been 2 years since we met last at the prayer breakfast. And in the 2 years, so much has happened. We have had the world and Kenya thrown into a spin because of the corona pandemic. Livelihoods, businesses, enterprises, people have suffered immensely. And we've suffered in a way that is unprecedented. It's never been that churches have been closed, mosques have been closed, schools, and many other places. And it hasn't been fashionable not to go to work, but to stay at home. But that became our lot. But be that as it may, in fact, if by the words of, there is a common askari who is commanding a platoon somewhere in the social media. In our case, and that askari says, semeni kimeumana, instead of the other two that we had. So much happened, but as things stand today, the Tanga tours are not there, and the reggae has also stopped. I think we need to listen to what that bishop was telling us. We need to do something together. In that same meeting, the former Prime Minister also said something that was profound. In fact, in a very uncharacteristic manner, he gave us a verse. And he told us about Isaiah 1:18 that says, "Come, let us reason together." Maybe again, God is speaking to us and saying, "Come, let us reason together." Finally, last night, as I was preparing, villagers came from the village, including some of my relatives, because my daughter got a spouse. She works in foreign affairs, and so she got a foreigner to be her spouse. And so one of the gentlemen from the village was speaking to us, and he said something again, though coming from the village, that is very profound. He was telling us about this wedding in the Bible that was in Canaan. Not the Canaan that we all know in Kenya, but there was a village called Cana. And in this wedding, among the people invited was Mary, mother of Jesus, Jesus' mother, and Jesus himself, and others. of course, in that whole thing, there was trouble and there was shortage. Na pia kiliumana. But because Jesus was there, things were sorted out. And he was telling us that in whatever plan, in whatever agenda, in whatever mission, have God in the equation. And I think that is profoundly what, again, we are reminding ourselves this morning. With those many remarks, it's now my duty to request our President, His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, to come and make his remarks. Mr. President, sir.
Asante sana, William. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Honorable Speakers, Honorable Chief Justice, all friends who have been invited, members of Parliament, members of our private sector, our friends from abroad who have managed to come and join us today. I have very few words. First and foremost is to take this opportunity to thank our two co-conveners for managing to arrange this prayer session despite the difficulties we are all facing as a country as a result of this COVID pandemic. The prayers are all prayers that are geared to giving us our hope back. And this is really where we all need to be at a time when we are confronted by the worst health pandemic the globe has seen in the last 100 years. And the realization that we need to pull together, to work together, and we need to have hope that it is indeed possible to overcome these challenges if we pull together. I have very little to add to what has been stated so far. We've heard from the health experts. We've heard from our senior, Amos Wako, about the challenges that he has gone through as a result of this pandemic, and the realization of a number of issues and other challenges that still face us, as he talked about the fact that millions are probably unable to access the same standard and quality of healthcare that he was able to have. And so today, the only message I have to our two speakers, to the leadership of both the Senate and the National Assembly, there are proposals before you, proposals that will ensure that every Kenyan is able to have access to health insurance, because health insurance is the basis of us being able to offer universal health care. Please expedite the passage of these bits of legislation that will allow us to ensure that our people are properly catered for, not just during times of pandemic as we are, but always. And that is the purpose, access to quality health care. I want to thank our motivational speaker today, Panawayaki Asante Sana. I don't think there is a word I would remove from what you have said. Mine is only to say, let it not be that we have heard today and tomorrow we have forgotten. Hope is a continuous process. Hope is something that you've got to get and put into your daily life. The things that he has told us, it's how we live every day that matters. Not what we listen to today, and by tomorrow we are back to our normal. So I hope, to those who are here, to those who have participated with us virtually, and to all the Kenyans, to listen ni sana.
Okay. It's not usual to talk. After His Excellency the President. But I just want to take this opportunity on behalf of Parliament. That is the National Assembly and the Senate.
Support huyu mtu ya kitendawili siku ingine huko nyuma. Nikasukuma yeye mpaka akakuwa Prime Minister. Si namna hiyo? Kufika huko akataka kunipeleka Hague kunifunga nikamwambia nikawachana na yeye, nikawachia Kalonzo. Sasa Kalonzo akakuja ile makosa tu nilifanya, sikumwambia Kalonzo huyu mtu apiti. Sasa Kalonzo amehangaika na yeye 2012 ikapotea. Amejaribu tena 20 ngapi? So kwa sababu Stephen, wewe umejaribu kusaidia huyo, imeshindikana. Mimi nilijaribu ikashindikana. Mimi ndio huyu nimekuja nimesaidia Uhuru, amekuwa rais. Sasa Uhuru anaenda retire. Sasa my friend, nimesikia mmemwambia Stephen ya kwamba kulia kushoto mbele na nyuma lazima usimame rais. Hiyo si mbaya. Lakini unajua hata mimi niliambiwa hivyo. Na wengine ambao wananisupport. Lakini mwisho nikakuja nikapima, nikaona wenye kusimama ni wengi. Lakini wenye kushinda ni tofauti. Kusimama ni sawa. Si namna hiyo? Kwa hivyo msipatie Kalonzo masharti ati lazima usimame. Mwambie Kalonzo, wewe enda panga na wenzako, mpangane namna hiyo alafu tuone. Wewe unajuaje? Pengine bahati inaweza unajuaje? So tuende pole namna hiyo. Hakuna haja ya pole. Unajua Kalonzo hawa watu saa zingine wanatuenjoy. Kwa sababu mtu anakaa hapo anapima, anaona bora Kalonzo anasimama akuwe rais, mimi nitapata kiti yangu ya bunge, mimi nitapata kiti yangu ya Senate, akikosa apate hiyo ni juu yake. So lazima hata sisi tunapima hii watu wasituangushe wakitafuta viti yao. Ama namna gani? Lazima tuambiane ukweli. So lazima tujipange mzuri namna hiyo. Kenya hii ni Kenya yetu sisi wote. Stephen, wewe umejaribu kusaidia huyo, imeshindikana. Mimi nilijaribu ikashindikana. Mimi ndio huyu nimekuja nimesaidia Uhuru, amekuwa rais. Sasa Uhuru anaenda retire. Sasa my friend, so tuendelee namna hiyo tukiongeleshana. Unajua sasa hii BBI imefungua mlango. Huyu anaongea na huyu anaongea na huyu na ule mwingine. Bas, Kenya inaenda mbele. So tuendelee namna hiyo, tushirikiane, tufanye kazi pamoja.
Dear friend William Somei Ruto, whom I used to call Nyaguri Ogambi. Welcome.
Your Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of Kenya Defense Forces, Your Excellency First Lady Margaret Kenyatta, Your Excellency Everest Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, Your Excellency Angela Ndayishimiye, First Lady of the Republic of Burundi, my friend, the former Prime Minister, Raila Amolo Odinga, aka Baba, the Honorable Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Speaker of National Assembly, the Honorable Speaker of Senate, the Governor of Kisumu, and Mrs. Nyong'o, Cabinet Ministers present, members, distinguished members of the Diplomatic Corps, Your Excellencies, fellow leaders, ladies and gentlemen, watu wa Kisumu Dala, amoso ujadurua, onjelo janam untie, jadurua umor, Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi nitasema kwa kifupi. As we celebrate this 58th Madaraka Day in this historic and great city of Kisumu, I want to laud your 2 days launch of various projects in this county and in this region. It is a testimony that there is a government that works and delivers. And it goes to confirm two things. One, that a government that delivers is good for everybody, irrespective of how and who they voted for. And secondly, that a government that delivers brings the country together. Because what you have done in this county, the administration that you lead, is a confirmation that Kenya, it is possible to develop Kenya equally and bring everybody on board. Your Excellency, the success that the administration that you lead has shown in infrastructure development brings into sharp focus the next phase of our development, a phase that will give opportunity, create jobs, create value, and create wealth so that we can deal with a twin challenge of poverty and unemployment. Your Excellency, that opportunity beckons so that the millions of young people around Kenya and in this region can have a job, they can do business, they can pay taxes, and Kenya can stand proud in the family of nations. Finally, Your Excellency, as we celebrate this 58th Madaraka Day, we are reminded that our forefathers worked hard, toiled, shed blood, so that we can have a democratic nation, a nation anchored not on personalities, but on constitutionalism, a nation built not on the foundation of tribes or ethnicities, but built on the foundation of institutions, a robust legislature, a performing executive, an independent judiciary, and other independent institutions, so that we can all celebrate the firm foundation of the rule of law, not the rule of man. That is a befitting day for us to celebrate our forefathers for bequeathing to us this great nation. It will be an act of great betrayal if we allowed ethnic bigotry and personality cults to destroy the firm foundation of constitutionalism and the rule of law in our nation. They will be proud to see us move forward and march forward, as my brother Anyang' Nyong'o has already elaborated. With those few remarks, Your Excellency, it is now my very humble duty to request His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, to make his statement and continue the program from there. Your Excellency, sir.
Asante William. Tafadhali tuketi. Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Burundi, Your Excellency President Everest Ndayishimiye, Your Excellency the First Lady of Burundi, Madam Angelina Dayubaha, Governor wa Kisumu, Mheshimiwa Anyang' Nyong'o, Wakenya wenzangu, hamjambo? Sasa leo nitavunja protocol kidogo, mtanisamehe.
Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta rafiki yangu na mimi tuliketi chini na tukasema lazima tubadilishe msingi wa siasa ya Kenya. Tuondoe siasa ya ukabila na chuki na migawanyiko. Tuweke siasa ya sera ya maendeleo na kubadilisha maisha ya Wakenya. Na hatukurudi nyuma. Ni kwa sababu ya hiyo msingi tulikubaliana na Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta. Na wakati mimi niliamua ya kwamba nitamuunga mkono Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta awe rais wa 4 wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, watu wengi wakiwemo wale walikuwa mazishi jana waliniambia ya kwamba hakuna vile wewe unaweza kuunga mkono Uhuru Kenyatta kwa sababu yeye alikuwa eti ni Mkikuyu kama Mwai Kibaki ambaye alikuwa ofisini. Lakini niliwaeleza siku hiyo na ninawaeleza hata na leo ya kwamba niliunga mkono Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta sio kwa sababu ya kabila yake, sio kwa sababu alikuwa anawakilisha kabila yake, ni kwa sababu mimi na yeye tuliketi chini tukakubaliana kwa sera ya kuweka maendeleo Kenya hii ya barabara na reli na kuunganisha stima na kujenga technical training college na kuweka maji katika taifa letu la Kenya, ndio Kenya iwe bora kuliko vile ilivyokuwa wakati huo. Hiyo ndio sababu niliunga mkono Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta, na nilimuunga mkono nikijua ya kwamba Mwai Kibaki alikuwa ofisini na ilikuwa ni makusudi ndio tuweze kuondoa siasa ya ujinga ya kuweka watu katika mirengo ya kabila. Mimi nataka niwaulize, hatuwezi, na nataka nirudie, hatuwezi kurudi katika siasa ya ukabila. The Hustler Nation is saying this country belongs to all of us and we must all sit at the table where we are going to have a honest national conversation. And let me say this for the record. It is not a must, it is not a condition that William Ruto or anybody must be president, but it is a must that we must all sit on the table. It is not negotiable. It is not negotiable that we can continue to have an exclusive conversation about few people and about some tribes and about some leaders. We are going to have a honest national conversation. And that is what the Hustler Nation is about. It is not a threat to anybody. It is not incitement of any nature. We are just going to have a honest conversation, all of us, on a table, so that we can agree on how to move Kenya forward. If anybody is uncomfortable with that conversation, if that conversation is difficult for whatever reason, unfortunately, we must have it. It is not something that we can avoid. It was because we agreed on an agenda and on a program that would transform this nation. And I supported Uhuru Kenyatta when President Kibaki was in office. Many of the people who were talking yesterday, they were the ones who are telling me, you cannot support another Kikuyu. And I told them, I am not supporting Uhuru Kenyatta because of his tribe. I am supporting Uhuru Kenyatta because we have a plan that will transform this nation. They were telling me that you cannot support Uhuru Kenyatta because he is not only a Kikuyu, but he is also the son of a former president. But that is not what we are looking for. We are looking for how to change this nation. And therefore I want to tell them, my friends, you better be prepared for the new conversation we are going to have in Kenya. Don't tell us about tribes. We want to have a conversation about every hustle. Don't tell us that we are going to discuss power. Yes, as we discuss power to be shared by the big boys and by the leaders, we must also have a conversation about empowerment and opportunity for ordinary people to chase their dreams as well. And you cannot tell us we are going to have a conversation about positions only. Prime Minister, I don't know, President and the rest. We must have a conversation, a serious conversation about millions of people who do not have jobs. And when are they going to have jobs? Every family has 2 to 3 young guys who have finished school, but they have no jobs. It is their time for us to have a conversation about them also. And therefore, when we say, for the first time in Kenya, we are going to have a conversation that will involve everybody, an inclusive conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I invite our president, let me take this opportunity first kumwambia mzee wetu rais ambaye anastaafu, umekuwa nguzo kubwa sana kwa taifa letu la Kenya na umeweka msingi thabiti kwa sisi tunakuja baada yako kujenga taifa letu la Kenya. Na mzee, wakati unapoelekea nyumbani, we have enjoyed the humor around you as you were president. And even retirement, we continued to enjoy the humor around you. I remember, Your Excellency, last week, there was a story that, you know, when you finish school, there is a clearance form that you take around the departments for you to be clear. And that last week, you were doing your clearance in State House, and you had a clearance form, and as you went around, everything was signed, but at some point, some fellows said they cannot clear you because there was a small broken window in State House. And the story went that you told them that maybe they should ask retired President Moi, because you found the window broken. But finally, because we have seen you here today, maybe they cleared you. And if they did not, I will use my good relations with the Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta to make sure that that window is replaced, so that there is no problem. That was the story, Your Excellency, we were told last week. But on a much more serious note, when President Uhuru Kenyatta and I decided 3 years ago that we were going to work together, it was not about winning an election. It was about bringing communities from across our regions that had been quarreling and fighting for years, not only to work together, but to live together as Kenyans. As we embarked on that journey, God enabled us to not only succeed, but He gave us dividends and He gave us a bonus. He gave us dividends because in the process we won an election, and gave us a bonus because we won that election in round one. We said then, as we say now, that never again will the people of this country shed innocent blood or destroy property on account of political competition. We are unashamed about the mission we embarked on. And we can say today confidently that henceforth, political leadership, political competition in our country shall henceforth be about issues, ideas, manifestos, programs, policies, and political parties. That will be the frame upon which political leadership will be canvassed in our country. Today, as we stand here, we know that we have the confidence of the people of Kenya. And we want to undertake that the critical primary responsibility that is on the Jubilee government and which we have pledged is to grow this economy by double digits. Last night, I had the privilege to share a meal and a discussion with the Prime Minister of Ethiopia. Because Ethiopia grows its economy by 12%. There is no reason, ladies and gentlemen, with the resources we have, why our economy in 5 years will not be growing by double digits. We are confident that using our strong agricultural base, commercializing agriculture, making sure that our farmers have certified seed, subsidized fertilizer, substitute mechanization for oxen and jembes, and ensuring that we irrigate, expand our irrigation potential, we will surely be able to grow enough food, expand our food production, so that we can lower the cost of living in our country, make our industries competitive, and be able to grow our economy. Let me mention specifically one sphere, and that is tourism. Ladies and gentlemen, the tourist product we have in Kenya is the best anywhere in the world. It is only in Kenya, out of all the nations of the world, that we have the cradle of mankind, right here in Turkana, where the earliest remains of man have been discovered. Nations, peoples, whether they come from Asia, whether they come from America, whether they come from Europe, when they come to Kenya, because this is where we all began, we can go to the airport and tell them, welcome home, because this is where humanity began. Ladies and gentlemen, if we combine that with the Big Five sensation, with the wildebeest migration that almost became the 8th wonder of the world, with our beaches and mountains and the Great Rift Valley, we have a tourist product that can be compared to none. And yet, we only have 1.5 million tourists coming to Kenya every year. We have 26 million tourists going to Malaysia, for example. There is absolutely no reason why we cannot expand our tourism potential, put more money in marketing, so that we can increase our tourist arrivals to 3 to 5 million and use it to turn around our economy and give jobs to our young people. Let me conclude, ladies and gentlemen, by saying the following. There are people who are worried about the divide in our country. There are people who are wondering what is going to happen between the 6 million Kenyans plus who voted for Jubilee and the 5 million Kenyans plus who voted for other candidates. But let me tell them this. In 2002, because Kenyans are a very interesting lot and they do things that nobody expects. In 2002, many people did not believe it was possible for people from Nyanza to vote for President Kibaki. What happened? The people of Nyanza voted almost to the man for President Kibaki. In 2007, many people did not believe that people in Rift Valley would vote for Raila Odinga. What happened? People in the Rift Valley voted almost to the man for Raila Odinga. In 2012, many people did not believe that because of the events of 2007-2008, many people did not believe that the people of Rift Valley would vote for Uhuru Kenyatta. Tell me what happened. The people in the Rift Valley voted almost to the man for Uhuru Kenyatta. Many of you did not believe that we would win this election because it was said choices have consequences. And that if you vote for Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, there would be consequences. Look at what happened. The people of Kenya did not just vote and make us win. They did it in round one. Let me tell the people who think that the people who voted for Jubilee and the people who voted for CORD and the others have a problem. Let them watch this space. Shortly, there will be no difference. You will not distinguish those who voted for Jubilee from those who voted for CORD because Kenyans have a way of doing their thing. Believe you me. Believe you me. And therefore, I am confident that we will pull together and we will begin to work on the things that are pertinent and that are of concern to every Kenyan, irrespective of their tribe, religion, race, region, or how they voted. We will serve all Kenyans equally because that's what Kenyans want. Wacha nimalize kwa kusema hivi. Najua wengi wenu kuna watu wamekwama. Bado wanafikiria nani alipigia Dida, yule jamaa wa a third this and a third air. Ama nani alipigia ule jamaa wa tunawezmake. Ama nani alipigia Tinga. Ama nani alipigia Man UK. Wakenya sasa hivi wale masafara wanataka kujua wakienda kwa kiosk ni lini bei ya unga itatoka shilingi 100 ifike shilingi 60. Mahasla wanataka kujua ni lini ile kibao imeandikwa hakuna kazi itatolewa na kuwekwa kibao kuna nafasi ya watu wawili ama watatu. Our young people, wale mamanzi na maboi waliomaliza chuo, wanataka kujua ile application walipeleka wakienda kwa post office. Je, watapata barua ile ya kusema we regret, ama watapata barua ile wanaambiwa siku ya interview ni siku fulani? That is what is of concern to Kenyans now. Na wale watu wa mtaa wanataka kujua ni lini barabara yao itafanyiwa ukarabati, na wale wa kijiji wanataka kujua ni lini barabara yao itawekwa lami. Haya ndiyo maneno Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta na sisi watu wa timu yake ya Jubilee tunataka kuanza kushughulikia Wakenya wote kwa pamoja. Asanteni sana. Nataka sasa nitoe shukrani kwa mke wangu ambaye amesimama kidete na mimi, familia yangu na watoto waliosimama pamoja na mimi, na watu wa constituency ya Eldoret North ambayo sasa ni Soi na Tarbo kwa kusimama na mimi na kunifanya mwanasiasa niliye sasa.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa, na upeleke salamu zetu kwa majirani zetu wa Tanzania. Mimi nilipata kujua Joseph Ngaiseri miaka karibu 15 hivi iliyopita. Na mara yangu ya kwanza kumuona General Ngaiseri ilikuwa katika uwanja wa shule hapa Bisili. Wakati rais mstaafu alifika hapa katika siku ya kwanza ya General Ngaiseri kujiunga na siasa. Na imekuwa ni safari ndefu hiyo ya miaka 15. Na nimeshuhudia ya kwamba General Ngaiseri ni mtu mwenye msimamo, ni mtu mwenye uadilifu, na ni mtu ambaye amejitolea na ni mzalendo wa taifa letu la Kenya. Nimepata kufika hapa kwake katika nyumba hii yake mara nyingi. Nafikiri zaidi ya mara 7-8 hivi. Tumekuja hapa tukashughulikiwa na Mama Helen, na mimi nilipata kujifunza mambo kadhaa kutoka ndugu yetu Generali Ngaiseri, na leo nitasema tu mambo mawili. Kwanza, alinifundisha kwamba kuna sehemu ya nyama ambayo ndio mzuri zaidi, inaitwa ngele mian. Na mara nyingi sasa nikitembea hapa Umasaini sikosi kuuliza sehemu hiyo, kwa sababu Ngaiseri ananiambia that is the best part. Na jambo la pili alinifundisha ni katika safari hii ya siasa. Mimi ni baadhi ya watu ambao walimshawishi generali tuondoke KANU tuende kwa ile chama ingine mnajua. Na wakati huo alikubaliana na mimi. Lakini baadaye tena wakati nilimrudia nikamwambia inaonekana tena imefika wakati mwingine wa kuhama, akaniambia Bill, unajua wewe ni raia na mimi ni askari, so ile utafanya kawaida, generali anashika doria, nyinyi mtaenda mtanikuta hapa mkirudi. So hakukubaliana na mimi safari hiyo ingine. Lakini baadaye wakati tulikuwa na matatizo kiasi, na rais akasema lazima tumfuate general, tumuingize katika serikali hii atusaidie kufanya kazi kwa Wakenya. Mimi nilimwambia rais, mimi sitaenda kwa sababu huyu mjamaa pengine hata niamini. Kuna mahali nilimwambia twende na tukaenda tukapotea. Sasa safari hii pengine wewe mwenyewe utaenda kumtafuta. Na kwa kweli, kwa sababu ni mtu muungwana na kwa sababu ni mtu ambaye anaamini taifa la Kenya kuliko siasa na kuliko mambo mengine yote ya urafiki, aliamua na akaja, and it is amazing the contribution General Ngaiseri has made in our security sector. It is amazing how a contribution of an individual can make a big difference in matters of a nation. Na mimi ningependa kumaliza kwa kusema, ndugu zangu, watu wa Kajiado na watu wa taifa letu la Kenya, vile Generali Ngaiseri alivyopenda, na mimi najua hakuna taswishi kwa kila mmoja wetu kwamba Generali Ngaiseri alipenda taifa la Kenya, na ilikuwa ni mapenzi yake sisi wote tulio viongozi tujenge daraja ya urafiki na undugu na umoja baina ya Wakenya wote, bila ya kujali sehemu gani wametoka, ni kanisa gani wanakwenda, ni dini gani abudu, ama ni warangi gani, ama ni wa kutoka kaunti gani ya taifa letu la Kenya. That was General Ngaiseri. He believed in Kenya. And I think his legacy, the whole lot of us as leaders and as Kenyans, is to build the bridges of unity, friendship, and brotherhood amongst the entirety of all the communities of our country and all the faiths and all the colors and all the regions of our nation. That will be a fitting legacy for General Ngaiseri and a fitting send-off for our dear brother and a great Kenyan. With those remarks, ladies and gentlemen, it's now my very humble duty to request His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, President and Commander-in-Chief of our Defense Forces, Your Excellency Margaret Kenyatta, our First Lady, the Honorable Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Speaker of Senate, the Honorable Speaker of National Assembly, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka, former Deputy Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi, former Minister of Foreign Affairs Moses Wetangula, ministers present, high commissioners and ambassadors, Your Excellencies, permanent secretaries, members of parliament, members of county assemblies, distinguished ladies, fellow Kenyans, hamjambo. Your Excellency, like many people in this stadium, we always knew that as our president, you are also the commander-in-chief of our defense forces. But it is only today that the commander-in-chief part is home, seeing you in uniform as commander-in-chief. Your Excellency, in our midst, we have visitors. We have the Honorable Kirunda Kivenjinja, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Affairs from Uganda. In our midst also, Your Excellency, we have Mr. Alion Sarr, Minister for Commerce, Informal Sector, and SMEs from Senegal. He's right there. Your Excellency, this is a Jamhuri Day that is different from what we have witnessed in the past. Last year, almost 1 year ago, you led the country into an election. You led us and the Jubilee Plan and asked Kenyans to support continuing transformation and continuing to expand the bridges of friendship and unity of our country. Today, Your Excellency, in this Jamhuri, there is enormous effort and there is enormous progress that have been achieved on those two fronts. Today, Your Excellency, under the Big Four plan, we are seeing the continuing transformation of Kenya. And under your initiative to unite the country, in our midst today, Your Excellency, we have our competitors who today join us as a clear testimony of the unity of our country, the maturity of our democracy, and the progress of our nation. The people in this stadium, Your Excellency, and those elsewhere are pregnant with expectation of your statement. And now, I ask all of us tusimame kwa heshima kubwa ndio tumkaribishe kiongozi wetu na rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta. Makofi, 1, 2, 3. Ngine 3, 4. Asanteni sana. Honorable Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of our Defense Forces, Your Excellency First Lady Margaret Kenyatta, distinguished leaders present, Your Excellencies, ambassadors and high commissioners, na Wakenya mwenzangu hamjambo. Your Excellency, we are celebrating this 57th Jamhuri Day under unique, extraordinary, and unprecedented circumstances that has affected both our political, our social, and our economic status. Your Excellency, the corona pandemic has visited on us serious challenges to families who have lost loved ones, to families who have sick people, exerted a lot of pressure on our health infrastructure, including our physical facilities, our health professionals, many Kenyans across this nation. Alongside that, Your Excellency, it has also affected livelihoods and businesses, big and small, and put a lot of pressure on our economy. Additionally, Your Excellency, this pandemic going into the future, in another 3 weeks or so, about 14 million of our children will be going to school after a whole year of absence. This situation is unprecedented, and Your Excellency, it calls on all of us to have a unity of purpose, unity of thought, unity of plan. We are confident, Your Excellency, that as you lead the charge to confront this unprecedented challenge in our country, like our forefathers confronted the might of colonialists, we too will overcome this challenge because we believe in your leadership, and together, united, we should be able to build the necessary consensus, to have the correct priorities so that we can confront and overcome this situation. Your Excellency, you have the prayers of millions of Kenyans as you lead this nation during these very difficult times. With those many remarks, Kenyans, it's now my humble duty to request His Excellency the President of Kenya to make his statement and lead us in these Jamhuri Day celebrations. Your Excellency, sir. Excellency, the Honorable Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of Kenya Defense Forces, Your Excellency Margaret Kenyatta, our First Lady, Your Excellency Mia Amor Motley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Barbados, the Honorable Speaker of National Assembly, the Honorable Speaker of Senate, the leaders of majority of both Senate and National Assembly, the Honorable David Maraga, Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Samson Mwatete, our Head of Defense Forces, the Honorable Raila Odinga, former Prime Minister, the Honorable Stephen Musyoka, former Vice President, the Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, former Vice President, Cabinet Ministers present, High Commissioners and Ambassadors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Wakenya hamjambo. In our midst is a special guest, the Prime Minister of Barbados, who is the guest of our President and the guest of our country. Nataka Wakenya wote tumkaribishe huyu mgeni wa rais na mgeni wa nchi yetu. Wapi nduru ya Prime Minister wa Barbados? On behalf of His Excellency, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister of Barbados, we are welcoming you as Kenyans to your second home here in Kenya. Allow me, Your Excellency, just to say two things so that I can proceed with the program. We celebrate this Jamhuri Day, as we celebrate our forefathers and the men and women whose sacrifice and foresight assembled us from all corners, from all communities, all faiths, all beliefs, all walks of life, and assembled us into a nation that we are proudly Kenyan today. And inspired by the foundation they set, today we are assembled as a people, inspired by this firm foundation, so that we can build on that foundation and build the bridges of unity, togetherness, and friendship, so that together we can eliminate hate, negative ethnicity, and eliminate divisions, and build together on that foundation to be able to forge the largest transformation in our history. And I am confident that accelerating from the Big Four, we will ensure that every Kenyan has a decent meal. We will ensure that through agro-processing, value addition, manufacturing, and the housing program, millions of our young people will get jobs. And therefore, Your Excellency, I am proud today that your leadership will give us the best possible opportunity to roll out the largest ever witnessed transformation in our nation, starting from the Big Four agenda.